Well, hey guys, and good evening. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Great to be with you on the show today. It is Sunday. It's the second day of our master topic. It's really great to be with you. If you've never been here before, I definitely want to say thank you and welcome. If you've been here many times before, of course, thank you and welcome back. It's always great to have people that enjoy the quality and content of my show and want to share with other people so they can improve their lives and those they care so much about. If you've been here before or not, don't forget to check out after the show, believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. Short form, long form, reels, articles, and much more. And hey, guys, I'm excited because we are March right now. And in less than 30 days, I'll be making the dedication to my parents on the 16th or 17th for my brand new book. Can't tell you the title yet. But I will reveal it on camera when I dedicate it to them. It'll be a little bit of a basically like an unwrapping. I'm going to give them a copy of the book. They're going to get to unwrap it. I'm going to read them the dedication. I'll let you guys know a little about the book, why I wanted to write it, things like that. And then the book will go on sale the next day. And then on May 1st, it will start shipping. And then soon after that, my book tour will start. And the website for Jason Academy will go live very, very soon. So great to have everyone here. Thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you for supporting me. Really do appreciate that. Over 4 years we're on the air. And in just a few more days, we're on the air. Basically 4 years and 3 months in just another, basically 7 or 8 days. All right, guys. So again, welcome to everyone. It is so great to have you here on the show. Thank you so much for being here. It means a lot to me that you are here and you've decided to check out the show. Thank you again so very, very, very much. All right. So thinking about, what's going on, let's get right into the show. Okay, guys. So it's all about, and it's going to be about thinking with accuracy. The master topic for the week is see it right, live it strong. By the way, I'm your host, ladies and gentlemen, John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, engineer, marketing specialist, of course, video producer, podcast host, coach, keynote speaker, graduate student, and yes, a passionate lifelong learner. And pretty soon I will be a published author. Yay. So welcome, everyone, to Inspirations for Your Life. This week, we're exploring how seeing clearly transforms everything, your decisions, your focus, and your results into the episode. So I think a lot of people, now that they understand, what we're doing and why we're doing certain things, I'm hoping it's going to resonate with a lot of people, what this is about and, why I'm doing certain things. But the main thing today is to think with accuracy, okay? We see it right, we live it strong, and like I said, we move forward from there. I think that's a very important point. And you can always rewatch the shows, either hear them or watch them or listen to them at believemeachieve.com. And so, again, what we're talking about is exploring, clearly transforming everything, your decisions, your focus, and your results. And in today's episode, we're talking about think with accuracy. So I'm going to dive deep into sharpening your mind, eliminating confusion, and making decisions that create unstoppable momentum in your life right now. So let's get started, everyone. Every point that I share here today is actionable. It's designed to improve clarity, resilience, and effectiveness. It is Sunday, guys. It's March 22nd, 2026. And again, a big warm welcome. Think with accuracy. Clear thinking creates strong results. Focused thought leads to outcomes that compound over time. Confusion leads to bad choices. Clarity prevents missteps and wasted effort. Think before reacting. Pausing gives your decisions power and precision. It's like a rest, but it's not really a rest. It's a pause because you're not stopping. You're just kind of like really observing what's going on. Accuracy beats speed. Quick choices without clarity cost more than patience. Organized thinking wins. Structure your thoughts to dominate complex situations. And I think a lot of people, for whatever reason, I don't think they get what that's about or why that's about or how people do that. But I think the most important thing is that you can do it. I think that's something that a lot of people miss. A lot of people miss that. but it's something you need to understand. So emotions, guys, cloud logic. Recognize feelings, but don't let them override your reasoning at any time. Calm thinking, on the other hand, creates a power, a serene mind, and this can allow you to navigate chaos effortlessly. And precision reduces mistakes, guys. Detail oriented thought prevents unnecessary errors. Focus your thoughts. Targeted attention produces measurable results. Yeah. Simplicity improves clarity, guys. Remove unnecessary complexity to see the core truth. I think a lot of times, whether it's in sales or other things, there's so much clouding something, so much complexity that people lose sight of the truth. Remember that these things just block action. Reflection must lead to decisions, not paralysis. Clear your thoughts, your mind, build confidence. Knowing your mind is in order, and it reinforces the courage that you already have. Structure, guys, creates direction. Plan your mental approach before taking any action, any steps. Think long term, guys. Immediate gratification rarely produces lasting impact. I know that short term gratification or immediate gratification is something we cling to, but the thing is, if we can hold out, we'll realize that the long term gratification is a lot sweeter and a much better reward. Logic, guys, protects your future. Reasoned choices defend against regret. Clear minds act better. Mental clarity accelerates effective action. Discipline your thinking, guys. Regular mental exercise strengthens decision making. Thought shapes action. What you consistently think guides your daily outcomes. Accurate thinking saves time. It sure does. Fewer mistakes mean faster results. Focus removes noise, and this ignore the distraction is what it's about, to channel energy differently and efficiently. Think, guys, with every thought and intention, as it should serve a purpose aligned with your true aspirations and goals. Mental clarity builds strength, confidence, and composure, so it can stem from organized thinking. Thoughts create outcomes. What you believe and focus on manifests in your life. Control your mind, train attention to prevent mental drift and reactive behavior. Clear thinking removes doubt. Certainty emerges when analysis replaces assumption. So analysis is just another way of taking in all the data we get, what we see, what we hear, what we touch, taste, smell, and what we feel and experience, and turn that into something that is valuable so we can make smart decisions. Simplicity, guys, always drives results. The simplest strategies often outperform the complex ones. I know somebody says to me, John, that's not complex enough. We need to make it, more advanced. Why? If it's working, why do we need to make it more advanced? Why do we make the wheel, which is already invented, more complex than something that spins on a car? Train your thinking daily. Mental discipline compounds just like physical training. Precision builds trust. Clear and logical decisions inspire confidence in others. Think clearly, act boldly. Clarity gives courage to execute effectively. Your thinking defines you. The quality of your decision is the measure of your life. And I think that's something a lot of people don't realize is we're not out for numbers here, guys. We are out for quality. And quality doesn't happen in numbers. You might think numbers is going to do everything, but it's not. You may think it's going to do something for you, but really what it does is it's just going to confuse you. It's just going to get you into a place that people just don't understand. And I think that's a very important thing to, definitely to understand is that people just don't understand why things are a certain way. And the why I believe happens because people, for whatever reason, they go down a different pathway. And this pathway they go down is not because they meant to go down it. Well, they wind up going it down, backwards. And it's because they're pushed in. So it's like this is the only way out. When we become proactive and we think about our choices, when we analyze the data, whether that's the nice day, whether that's a rough environment, whatever it is, our learning style, we're able to apply things to that to change it to make it better. So, some practical tips. Morning mental check-in. Begin each day reviewing top priorities. Ask which decisions today need accuracy over speed. I know sometimes you feel overwhelmed by what you have to do, but when you put it down on paper and you cross off, you realize that the mind is racing more than what needs to be. So, for example, I had some things to do today, and I said, "Oh my gosh, this is going to take like the entire day." It took 2 hours. So our mind does it. Our mind says, "Oh, gee, this is going to take forever." But until the mind's like, "Oh, wait a minute, you're right. It really is 2 hours." It just gets overwhelmed by a false sense of data. Pause, guys, before. When facing uncertainty, pause or take 2 deep breaths. And one of the things I like to share is my deep breath method, which is also my book. And basically, what we do is we basically do an inhale, okay, and then we do an exhale. So I like to do a 4-2-6. So inhale for 4, hold it for 2, exhale for 6. Do it again. By the way, don't do this if you're driving. Inhale for 4. Hold it for 2. Exhale for 6. One more time. Inhale for 4. Hold it for 2. Exhale for 6. Feel a little better, right? So pause for that 4-2-6, okay? And you'll find that it's like you've got a new lease on life. Now, let's talk about clarity, shall we? A clarity log. So keep a small notebook to capture confusing situations and solutions. Review it weekly, at least, and this will help sharpen your insight. And now an energy audit for you. Note when emotions around you cloud your judgment. And adjust your focus to maintain calm thinking, because a lot of times you might not be moving fast enough. I'll give you an example. If you've ever been on the road, no one's probably ever been on the road, and there's this impatient driver behind you, right? I don't get upset. I don't get angry, but I also don't go any faster either. So that person's hitting the horn. I just ignore it. And when that person is getting frustrated, trying to get you to do, it can cause some people to react negatively. I just say, okay, that person is exhibiting that kind of behavior. That's fine. I'm not going to associate with it. I'm not going to buy into it. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And I'm just going to let that behavior roll off my back like it's nothing, like it's just a breeze. All right. So simplify your decisions, guys. This is easier said than done. Break the complex choices into smaller steps. Simplicity creates confidence and speed. Again, that 4-2-6, I think, is very important. Inhaling for 4, holding for 2, and exhaling for 6. I think a lot of times we don't stop. I talk about this in my book as well. I'm not going to get into that tonight, but we don't stop until we're forced to stop. Somebody else tells us to stop, a medical reason, but we should be treating ourselves with love and kindness and stopping and being proactive. I think that's an important piece that I want to share here tonight, is that we need to love ourselves, okay? To think accurately, we need to respect our mind and our body, okay? Looks like just in that little brief breath. Sometimes live stream likes to do some weird stuff, like just end the studio and then come back. So sorry about that, guys. They claim that they're making the software better. I'll be honest with you. I don't know when it is. My team is looking at other solutions right now, more enterprise solutions. As you know, we're growing, and we can only be as strong as the platforms that we're on, to broadcast. So I think that's a challenge. One of the challenges that basically just happened was we were broadcasting to basically Instagram, and the platform decided, for whatever stupid reason, to just stop broadcasting. So I don't know. I've complained about it. They don't seem to do anything about it, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. And hopefully they will get better. I don't know when they're going to get better, but right now, guys, I have to tell you, I am very disappointed with the way they handle this and the way they tell me they're going to upgrade things. And it's really a problem, guys, because, when you count on a system like this, right? And things go wrong, we go with the flow, sure. But the thing is, they don't really realize, these companies that create these systems, how content creators like myself, podcast hosts and TV people and authors, that we rely on a system to be, let's see, dependable. And unfortunately, things like a glitch, like, not connecting to Instagram because of some stupid problem they're having. I don't know, guys. That's just unacceptable for me. I don't know about you, but it's unacceptable. So that's why we had that little hiccup before. So thinking a little bit about accuracy. When you think about accuracy, maybe you're talking about, maybe you're shooting a target, right? Could be a dart gun. Could be throwing darts. And if you've ever been to one of these places, it could be a bar, it could be another social place, or maybe somebody's, man cave. And, when you take the dart back and you go to throw it and you try to throw it there, what I found is that the more you try to put accuracy in, the more you try to push accuracy, the more you miss the target. The more you just try to relax, take a deep breath, just look at the target, put your arm back, and just, the easier it is, and the more you seem to be on point. Yeah, on point. So being on point is definitely something that a lot of people don't understand. They don't understand how these things actually work. And they work because of our nervous system. So let's talk about something else when you're accurate. How many of you guys remember coloring? That was not my favorite I'll say pastime. I remember getting a coloring book, and I remember all these lines. And I used to like the ones that had the big lines so I could stay within them. But they were smaller. It was harder. And I remember this set, which came with I think it was 8 or 12 pencils, and you had to stay within them. And it was very, very challenging, guys. Very challenging. So I think accuracy becomes hard for us when we put a lot of effort to stay accurate. Now, when we have an intention to be accurate and we're accurate, great. But we can't drive ourselves, right? Say, oh my gosh, we're not accurate. We need to chill a little bit. We need to step back. So how do we think with accuracy? Well, again, be mindful to the data around you, what you see, what you hear, what you can touch, what you can taste, what you can smell. And just allow that data to come into your body. And just pay attention to those senses that you get. And those senses can give you the understanding of what you should be doing. Sometimes the answer is not a quick yes, a quick no. It's a feeling that we get. It is a feeling. And that feeling is something that a lot of people don't quite understand. They don't know why something is working a certain way. They just don't have a clue. But all they know is that they're trying to do one thing, but for whatever reason, they can't. And that can't frustrates people. Okay. Not saying that you're not able to do it. I was talking to somebody before, and the person kept saying, I can't. And I said to you before, guys, what we think in our mind is one thing, and what we say is another thing, right? But they need to be in alignment. So the person said to me, well, John, I'm saying that in my head, but my voice is saying something else. I said, yeah, the two are in conflict. So if the two are in conflict, then one's going to cross out the other and the result's going to be no. You've heard people do this, right? When they say yes and then they shake their hand and they say no, I'm definitely not doing that. And then they nod their head up and down, right? That's a conflict. That's a mismatch. And our body says, hey, I'm not doing that, or that's what I'm going to believe. And I think that's a hard thing for a lot of people. Thinking with accuracy. It's not meant to give your brain a pain. It's meant to allow you to digest your environment internally, externally. Again, that deals with the sounds, that deals with the people, it deals with the animals, deals with the weather conditions, it deals with the geography, right? The landscapes. And it also deals with the energy that we have around us. You heard me say this before. Energy is all around us, and the energy that we have all around us is what takes us to the very next point. Okay? It takes us to the very next point. And that next point is something that many of us are trying to figure out. But when we allow ourselves to take the data, to take, let's say what we're hearing, what we're seeing, touching, tasting, smelling, and feeling, when we just absorb that in a very carefree way, our mind and nervous system says, okay, I get where this is coming from, right? I get it. And then our body kind of gravitates that way. But a lot of people think that thinking with accuracy means we need to pressure our brain. And that's actually what we don't want to do. If we pressure our brain, yeah, we might get some results short term, but then our brain's going to probably lose a lot of stuff. It's almost like if you think of a container, right? And let's say you have a bucket, maybe a 4 or 5 gallon bucket. And you fill that bucket with things. It could be sand, it could be whatever. And when that bucket gets over the 5 pound mark, what happens? Everything starts to fall out of the bucket. Now, not only does the stuff that you poured at the top, but other stuff might pour out of it too, right? Especially when maybe it's water, right? Depending on what it is, then the whole bucket loses more than just what the top is. So this is what happens with our brain. So we need to give our brain a rest, and we need to allow things to flow. For when things flow in our mind and body, we become the owner of the data. When we don't let things flow, then it's like chaos. Our body works much better when we can be proactive. I used the example a month or so ago about being proactive for a fire drill or a fire, right? We talked about all that. I'm not going to go into that tonight. But being reactive causes us to stress, causes us to say, oh my gosh, what do I do now this is happening? How do I handle this? So I think that's the biggest challenge for a lot of people is they don't want to be reactive, but they cause themselves to when they weren't proactive. Now, you get a choice whether to be proactive or reactive. But once the situation has come full center to you, there's no choice to be proactive or reactive. You have to be reactive because the situation is right in front of you. So thinking accurately is just about being in the moment and being in the world. Now, I'm not saying you never need to prepare for things, but when you do prepare, you can then live your life in this very unique moment-to-moment way, dealing with things in a proactive manner. Uses less energy, gets you less stressed. And you know what it does? It gives you better results. Better results. So now the question, John, is, okay, if this is all so great and so genius, why don't people do it? I know that's the billion-dollar question. I think it's because of people's egos. I think it's because people are impatient. I think it's also because people are looking at the Joneses and what the Joneses or, you know, the other neighbors are doing, and they feel they have to be this way, but they don't. It's a perception. Everything in life is a perception, but that perception, ladies and gentlemen, becomes our reality. Let me say that again. Everything in life is a perception, but our perceptions become our reality. If we think that we're great at something, good. If we think we're bad at something, that's also good. That's what Henry Ford said. If we believe we can, we're right. If we believe we can't, we're also right. So the question comes down to this, John. If we're thinking with accuracy, right? How do we know when we are thinking the most accurate way? It's a good question. We look at the data, we can get a gut feeling based on what we're looking at, what we're feeling, what we're seeing, hearing, touching, tasting. We can get this gut feeling. And this gut feeling will allow us to be like, okay, I made the right choice. But that doesn't happen when we have to do something reactively. It does not happen. And I think a lot of people get frustrated because they want it to happen, but yet it doesn't. So they just go crazy, right? They figure out that what they're doing needs to be hyped up a few notches. So they tighten the belt and they make it more stressful. And what does it do? It gets them stressful, it gets other people stressful. At the end of the day, they're either no better than when they started or they are steps behind because they've regressed. All right. So I think the important thing for us to understand today is that everyone can think with accuracy, but it is a little bit of a skill that you have to develop. It does not happen overnight. We talked about these different audits you can do. And this basically wraps up today's episode of Inspirations for Your Life. And I want you to remember something, guys, really important. Your clarity of your thought today shapes your outcomes of tomorrow. Seeing clearly isn't just a skill, it's a superpower that creates resilience, confidence, and action with intention. Apply one principle that I shared with you here today from this episode daily and watch the momentum grow in a positive direction. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or evening, and check out believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. Be well, everyone.